Okay, so if you're back and you're watching this, you've been, I'm assuming, watching the whole series. Bear in mind that we've played a lot of this game for a few hours. If you've enjoyed it up to this point, please go and check out the game yourself. It is available on Steam. There's a link below as well for a Humble Bundle purchase if you're interested in that sort of thing. But we'll pick it up from here. Thanks for joining us over on the Patreon or potentially YouTube memberships, wherever we could get this uploaded. And we'll see how we go from here. What in the world? What the? Yeah, we meet at last.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names.
Yeah.
Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
Thanks very much. What's your story?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know?
Are you a god?
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
Okay, why do you look and sound like a man?
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords. Desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive.
Okay, who's the woman on your left?
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names.
Oh.
Well to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal.
Okay.
Your gaze lingers too long.
Sorry, boss. Who is that on your right?
That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names.
All right, Karen.
To the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible.
She's very good at it.
For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions.
May I see your true form?
No. Long ago, I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Okay. Let's talk about something else.
As you wish.
What is this
It
place?
has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago.
What was the wager you made?
That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something distinct. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
Who are your kin?
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina.
Who built the city?
As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before. They made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten.
How did you decide who comes
To
here?
ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferrymen. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind would have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Persephone's along with it.
I mean, that's not ideal. How do humans learn about the underworld?
It's a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place, in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning. In a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place. Each story contained only a seed of truth.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
Of course.
He does a lot of talking. Are you responsible for the golden rule?
It is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife. Prestigious position, power, and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold, and when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity. Silent golden sentiment.
I mean, that seems a little excessive, right? You're just responsible for destroying all these lives.
Your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it.
Where did the golden bows come from?
When kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. Consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies.
Okay. What do you consider a sin?
I always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
Yeah, a little curious, yeah. Doesn't seem like you're upholding it either.
Enough. You clearly know nothing.
Jon Snow. How do you know when people sin?
I am able to commune with all of the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes.
Okay.
If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask?
No reason.
Then what an odd question.
There's several things here that you didn't consider a sin. How do you let that
Do
happen?
you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example?
A scam?
Ah, the tavern keeper, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
She wouldn't want someone else to sell her hemlock if she thought she's buying it as a means of escape.
Disagree. Having watched that tavern keeper, that is precisely what she would expect from others. She would view it as a game.
Yeah, good point.
And she intends to win.
Fair enough. You can't know what she would expect. You're just speculating.
Applying this rule always requires speculation to some degree. It requires us to ask what another person would want if they found themselves in another situation. Not if we're wise enough to know the mind of man.
And you think you know the minds of other people.
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
I'm right and you know it.
Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You will make a fine.
Don't kill me. I don't want to go through all this again. The wooden bow or the golden bow? The wooden bow, I think.
Do you really think you can wound me, a god?
I'm going to try.
That primitive weapon?
You may be immortal, but your beloved
How
isn't.
dare you threaten her? This ends now.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh god, I've got to run away from all these people again. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Continue from last save. I'll never make it out of there. Oh, come on. I've got to run through that room with about 100 statues in. It's never going to happen. Okay. Well, that took a turn, right? So we shoot him. We run. Oh, please don't make me go through all that again. Shit. Oh, am I at the last one? Okay. I can't do all that again. Don't make me do all that again.
And here you allow me to no go, but the one and I've been and what is that there will be first.
Oh god.
That is I've nope this should the Egypt, the Greek, the Roman, even the it is yet in do you plant the midwife in the palace, yes. The rule is do unto therefore a blind. Then you will
Okay, let's try this again. Here we go again, everybody.
think you can wound me. How dare
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Did I pick it up? I think I picked it up. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me in the bum. I'm zigzagging. Bundle. Oh god, there's a long way to run. See ya. Ow. Did I make it? Oh, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. I thought I was going to be able to fall into the thing in his middle of his room. God damn it. I should save after I've done that, right? Here we go again. Coming through.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Coming through. And maybe you could persuade him, like the thing says. Okay, we just keep running. Okay, here we go. Ow. Oh god, there's two people in here. The floor seems to have been concreted up. Oh, come on. Right, let's try and talk to him in a different way. That was really harsh. Hello.
Allow me. No,
Okay, yeah, we've spoken to you a lot.
First,
Are you responsible for the Golden Rule?
I've all no. This should Egypt, the Greeks, the Roman, even the. It is this. Yet no.
I've seen terrible things.
Abduction. You mean the magistrate? He did so because she sought to escape. A sin I take. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out the.
I disagree with that.
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Now tell me, what other sin? The merchant. How is that inconsistent with a...
You wouldn't want someone to demand an outrageous price for his medicine?
Having watched this merchant, that is applying this rule... Not if we're...
Okay. Let's just see if we can
Now
keep
tell me,
telling him all the others.
the midwife... The rule is, they are forsaken. What happened? The blind...
Okay.
Now tell me, do you honestly think you could do better?
I mean, I could try. Nobody's grasp of right and wrong is so perfect that it can be trusted with all this power. You've become a
I
tyrant.
should strike you down.
You should. And if you did, you'd be proving my point.
Now, did you have any other questions before your...
Let's talk about something else.
Very well.
That's all the questions I had.
Then now it is time for your reckoning.
Yeah?
Only, it seems, something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see to the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible?
I don't know.
Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here?
Maybe you're getting forgetful? I'm from the future.
That is true. Then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you here?
He cannot know.
I was hoping you could tell me.
I do not know. My kin departed long ago, and Proserpine has slumbered for 3,000 years.
Can you know this as go to the underworld?
Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now.
Okay.
But answer this.
Yeah.
Why have you come here? What is it you seek?
I'd like you to put an end to the Golden Rule.
Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed
Oh, God.
arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called golden...
Can I F5 here? That wasn't a question. No. If you're doing this for love, you should know that Proserpina doesn't love you. How can you expect us to live without sin if you can't do it yourself?
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it? Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understand this, as did the Greeks before them.
Where I'm from, collective punishment is considered one of the most egregious crimes there is.
Ah, but I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind? You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights? Of course not, because that would be absurd, just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals.
Your kind and mine can't be so different. You're in love with one of us.
My love for her does not mean I am not superior, now that she is mortal.
What makes your kind? That sounds arrogant. Perhaps you're not as different as humans as you think.
For a moment, I thought you might...
Oh, God. If you're doing this for love, you should know that Proserpina doesn't love you.
I see what you are doing. You are trying to undermine the one thing keeping me anchored here. You are playing a dangerous game.
Oh, do we do it?
Liar! How dare
We shouldn't have done it.
my domain and attempt to undermine the thing
We shouldn't have done it.
most sacred. You will make a fine statue. Do you really think you can wound me, a god? Pathetic.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Ouch. Oh, God, I'm never getting out of here. Good Lord. Come on. Come on. Okay, now we just run, right? Please don't shoot me. Ow. Don't do it. Okay. We might make it out of here. Don't shoot me in the bum. Oh, God. Okay, so now we have a crown. I don't know what the crown does, but now we have a crown. Hopefully I picked it up. Rewind time and show Pluto you have her crown. So I've got to go all the way back. Okay. Well, let's quickly run back then.
Salve.
Sorry, dude. How do we get up there? This way, right?
Greetings and salutations.
Hello. Right, let's just sprint back up this way. God, it's a hefty old run. Here we are again. We're almost there. See, wrong one. Let's just save here, right? And off we go again. So she's still in there. But now we have her crown.
And here, allow me to introduce Nurgle to
Yeah, we know who you are. Yeah. Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
I would recognize that anywhere. And yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it?
I took it from her after I killed her in another timeline.
You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it.
I didn't want to kill her, but you don't put an end to the golden rule. I'll do it again.
You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium, humiliated and alone.
What's it going to be?
I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that Persephone was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this.
I just got the achievement Psycho.
Of all of you. But know this. If I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
We just want to return to the world.
Very well. I will have Karen make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Why?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time.
I hear ya.
Now, are you ready?
Yeah.
You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
Okay. Oh, we're going backwards through the little tunnel.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
I came in here to find you.
Here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
This is Al, everybody.
Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared, said barely a word, and entered the temple of the mysterious god, this one here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him, and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Yeah, maybe. Those Romans are
I don't
crazy.
know, it reads like an earnest account to me. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Nice. I'm right behind you. Ow. Nice. What happened to Al? Al seems to have vanished. Yeah, don't blame you, buddy.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple. You go on ahead.
Okay, let's head on out of here. Oh my God, it's Karen.
You're back. But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
I found him. He'll be here in a moment.
What a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
You're not who you said you were.
Ah, I see.
Oh God.
I thought you might. Well,
Oh
now
God.
I know. I suppose you have questions.
Who are you really?
You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
And what truth is that?
But you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
How did I die?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
Hell yeah.
As you wish.
Oh God.
You were murdered. You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were
Oh
armed,
God, me and Al.
and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here.
What's so special about these coins?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and
Yeah,
Romans
we know this,
bearing
yeah.
with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here. That is a question you would have to ask him.
I feel like we know all
If
this.
that were still possible, in light of the path you have chosen. I am just his servant, doing his bidding. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, the coins on you and Al were the last of the 1,000 in existence. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Can you return us to the land of the living?
There's no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Yep, let's get out of here, Karen. One year later. Okay, interesting.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again.
Hi
Here's your
again.
book and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news.
Yeah.
So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius's tablet. And I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Okay. Oh, look, there's people here. What the?
You're finally here. Remember me?
Yeah? What are you doing
Here's
here?
the story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of
What?
ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
You know what? It's not a problem. What are you doing with yourselves?
Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course.
Nice.
It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I know! I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're
Nice.
planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
I'd love that. Count me in.
Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving.
Oh, hello.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you.
Yeah. Good to see you too.
You're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods.
There he is.
As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
Nice. What are you doing with yourself?
Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us.
You know, it's my pleasure.
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere. if you'd like to ask her yourself.
I'll do that, thanks.
See you at the wedding, I hope.
Yeah, Dooley.
Hello, I'm the... Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
You know what was my pleasure?
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
Nice. I'm sorry you never found your treasure.
Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells stories. It's my favourite thing.
Is it a TV?
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dooley. See you, buddy.
There he is.
Yeah, we already said hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So...
what are you doing with yourself these
I'm
days?
studying to get into medical school.
Nice.
As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time. Oh, she didn't make it.
Oh,
She died
God.
from poison while you were in the Great Temple. It was
I didn't send him to do any of those
She
things.
was a good woman and a friend.
Oh, no, I did, right? Did I? I'm not sure I
It
did.
wasn't your fault. Decius is to blame. He's here somewhere too. Not that anyone would talk to him. I'm not even sure how he got invited.
Yeah, what a scumbag.
You too. Don't be a stranger.
Hey.
Hi there, I'm Horatius.
Yeah, I know who you are.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life, and reuniting Scintilla with us as well. So, thank you.
What are you doing with yourself
I live
these
in the
days?
north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides.
I'm sorry you never got to see your girl again.
You remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
Well said.
Thanks.
Whatever happened to your buddy?
Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the OSC, so he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah, I know the expression.
Perhaps. And you.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
No problem.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is we'll never see him again.
That is important. What are you doing with yourself these
Anything
days?
I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
Uh-huh.
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell.
Holy crap.
Slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
I mean, it seems a little harsh. You did once tell me you wanted to live forever.
Then I suppose he got his wish.
It's good to see you again. So we've done all of these people.
Greetings. You must be the legendary oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally
Quite a
make
few of
your
these.
acquaintance. I am George.
Yeah, we know who you are. Good to see you.
Told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that I am most grateful.
Not a problem. What are you doing with yourself?
Reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling.
Nice.
Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure-Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
Consider me there. Whatever happened to Fabia?
The poor sweet thing perished in a
Oh, come on. This is a bit harsh.
It is the one regret I have in all.
Didn't I tell him to go and do these things?
You too, my friend.
Oh, look who it is.
I take
Nice.
it you're the oracle everybody's talking about. We have. I'm sorry, I don't remember. In any case, I'm Philip.
Is it not?
I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive.
Indeed.
It seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
What are you doing with
As
yourself?
a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University.
Nice.
Helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened.
Oh, that's a nice one.
My sincere...
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard...
Nice to see you too.
Thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
What are you doing with yourself these
Living in
days?
Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a
Nice.
crisis counselor.
That makes sense.
After we lost Ulpius, I
Yeah,
spent a lot
sorry
of time
about that.
reflecting on what I could have done differently. I couldn't shake the feeling that if I'd just found the right words, he'd still be
I'm
with us.
sure I sent him off to do all the talking, but
So I'm told, and I know that rationally. Maybe someday I'll leave it too. And you? Wonderful.
Some soiree, innit? Oh, hello. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Such a acerbic wit. I love it. I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the oracle and future seer and all that,
Nice.
on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
none.
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Daisy. course, yeah.
See you, mate.
Don't let me keep you.
Yeah, enjoy your newspapers. Also, that's surely not comfortable. Right, okay. There's more people down here. What is that you're wearing? Thanks, Kabash.
You know my name?
Yep.
Oh, of course. You are an oracle. You know many
That's
things.
very true.
I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
I agree. Sounds like you've earned it. It's good to see you again. You tried to kill me, you arse.
Hello there.
Hi, Scintilla.
I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. You didn't hear? My adoptive father.
No, I knew that. I don't know why that came up.
To stop me from escaping. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
Sounds like you got what you deserved. What are you doing with yourself?
I'm living by myself on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's something Ulpius and I used to talk about doing when we got out, and I thought that's.
Oh man.
But it's been hard. I don't know what I'm doing, and it's just not the same without him.
This is my fault. This is all my fault.
Oh, it's hardly your fault.
No, it's definitely my fault.
I'll be alright. Thanks.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Good to see
I
you.
wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there.
What are you doing with yourself these
Studying
days?
to be an architect again.
Nice.
And living in a beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets, full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
Good to see you again, Verge. If you ever visit the Netherlands, I might just take you up on that. Okay. Nice to see everybody. Look at this place.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
I recognize that voice.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
You were whispering to me all along?
Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
You did what you could. You created the time loop.
I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. So I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required to create a portal in my shrine. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power, and so I put a safeguard in place. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used selflessly to help others. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day, and as a veteran soldier he had long since shed his fear of death. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life indefinitely by exploiting the cycle. Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him, and there was little I could do but wait for someone like you to come along and see him for what he was. We were all fortunate you came along when you did.
What became of Pluto?
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
I hear ya.
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day.
I agree. It was nice meeting
And
you.
you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden
Yeah, I do, yeah.
scattered throughout the city?
Yeah.
Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all
Nice.
the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Well, there you go. The canon ending. I got ending 4 of 4. I don't know if that's good or bad. Tap escape to continue. Well, that was nice. I enjoyed that. If you're watching this, I apologise that this video has been so long, and that you had to head over to Patreon to watch it. But it just felt like the right thing to do. The developers said not to show that, or they didn't want it shown, and I think you've got to be really committed to head over here and watch it. So I appreciate that. If you enjoyed it, please go and check out the game. Check out what else the devs are doing. Again, this was a mod in Skyrim that's been converted into a game. I had a lot of fun with it. There were a few issues in my eyes with it, just a few kind of, it became very, I mean, I know it's a repetitive game, but it became very repetitive, and having to do things in a certain order to get the appropriate, the appropriate prompts was a little bit of a drag, but that's what you get with these sorts of games. I hope you enjoyed this. Please head back over to YouTube, check out the rest of the videos on there. I appreciate you watching this so much, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching ScottDogGaming. Don't forget to follow on Twitch and Twitter, and head over to YouTube for daily content. See you again soon.